Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to another live stream. We haven't done our normal time for a while. We've steered away from the 3 p.m. streams, but things come round. Life will life. So we're still here doing daily streams regardless. And we're here for yet another Haaland conversation. I know you guys are excited for this one, just like yesterday. And even though I say that sarcastically, there's a lot of you guys in here from the start. We've got 150 of you guys here from the off. So big up all of you, man. And let's try and make that 150 likes as well. Everyone's social media links are down in the description below as well. So if you guys want to see more from them, click the link, follow them, and check them out and chat to them as well. Big up everyone who is locked in. Let us know your thoughts on Erling Haaland, Romelu Lukaku as well. Even the potential rumours that Bayern Munich are potentially going to try and come in for Hudson-Odoi for a third time in a row. And yeah, let us know your thoughts down in the comment section. Get comfortable, get locked in, because we're going to be here for at least an hour at the longest. But that's the same way we always are. Euro Expert, we haven't had you on here for a while, and you're in much happier circumstances than last time. First off, how you been, man?
Yeah, I'm great. It's great to be back on, actually. And yeah, happy for you guys to win the UCL. Obviously, my predictions on the channels came true. I would look like an idiot on the previous streams if you didn't win. But yeah, really great to be back on.
Yeah, our lucky charm is here, and if that's going to continue working, that probably means Haaland will be joining us as well. Josh, what are you saying, Machi? Are you good?
What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, just excited about the news. Hopefully, we can get it across the line. And Haaland has always been a priority for me this summer. Lukaku is a nice shout as a backup if Haaland wasn't going to happen. But for me, it's all in. It's always been all in on Haaland. Whatever you got to do, pay the fee. We all know Roman can pay the fee. Pay the fee, pay the wage, send a player, whatever you got to do. Get Haaland in. That's the main goal. Absolutely,
yeah,
Andrew.
For me, it's just a thing of the goal scorer. And I'll be real, I'm warming more and more to the Haaland deal as the days are going by, only because it's seeming more inevitable. I'll be real, if Lukaku still comes round as an option for us, because it doesn't really look like one right now, but I know the club haven't given up on it either. If it's the case that we can get him, I still want us to go all in for Romelu Lukaku if the opportunity is there. But if it isn't there, and if we can get Erling Haaland, and the fans are willing to be patient through that first season as well, like, I'm all for it. And we're going to delve into it into video as well. Artem with the donation saying Ziyech wants bigger role or to be sold. Have any of you guys heard this specifically? Because I know rumours that Lazio and AC Milan are both interested in signing Ziyech, but I haven't heard Ziyech say anything about wanting a bigger role or leaving.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from him personally. I did hear AC Milan are in on him, but nothing from his side of the story about wanting to leave or anything like that.
Most of the Chelsea ones things saying he's not going to be sold, so you know.
Now, for me, I think if there's anyone that does get sold out of our forward line, it's probably Hakim Ziyech. But I could see him stay for the next season, and I wouldn't even necessarily want him to leave, because I think he's had a lot to deal with in his first season, very similar to Kai Havertz as well. But because of his age, he hasn't really been given that much patience compared to the rest of the other younger signings that we've had. He's had about 4 months out with the Eredivisie season finishing early. Then he's had numerous injuries and had to come back and fill in a new role in a different squad with a different manager as well. That's a lot of different situations for why he hasn't really worked out in his first season. But he still had key moments for us as well. So for me, like, I personally would rather see him stay for another season. Other than a striker, we don't necessarily need to go and get anybody. But if he did want to leave because he wasn't going to be first choice, I'd kind of understand that as well, because he still isn't going to be first choice here regardless. We're thinking of getting another attacker, and he's still way behind the pecking order for Timo Werner, Mason Mount. You could even say Hudson-Odoi as well, but that all depends on your preference as well. Yeah, that was my points. Anyone wanted to add to that?
It's kind of out of nowhere that if he wants to go, but.
Yeah, Artem said it just came out. I'm trying to find the link for it. If it was on,
I think there was some
the link as well. One sec.
There was some reports that he's fed up with Tuchel or something, but no one can confirm that. So.
It all just sounds like speculation to me, because I feel like that would have been much bigger news, because it's been a pretty slow news day regardless.
Yeah. Still Haaland.
It doesn't really make much sense that he would really want to leave. I mean, maybe if he wants a bigger role, but I mean, there's no guarantee if he goes to one of those other clubs he'll have that much bigger of a role. Especially he's going to be 29. I mean, he'll play plenty of. We have over 70 games this season coming up. He'll get plenty of chances to play.
I think the question that you need to ask, like, why would Chelsea treat Hakim Ziyech like very serious? Why would we be impatient with him? It's not the only summer signing that has been underperformed. Literally, he needs another full season.
Just saying as well, it's been going on for a while. The agent said he wasn't thrilled being in London. Why is this the first we're hearing this? I've got an article up now, but it's sportwitness.co.uk, and I don't think it's that legitimate. It's saying Ziyech endured a difficult first season at Stamford Bridge under both Lampard and Tuchel. He scored 6 goals and 4 assists in 39 appearances. Appears he's out of Tuchel's long-term plans. That's what Gazzetta dello Sport think, reporting that Ziyech's relationship with the German manager is broken and the player is officially on the transfer list. Napoli are also on the case, and a lot of work is needed to try and get anything off the ground regarding a transfer or even a loan. Either way, it stated Stefano Pulli likes Ziyech, as he could represent a boost of energy down the wings, and he could be an excellent solution for Milan. So, Gazzetta dello Sport are reporting that Ziyech's relationship with the manager is broken and the player's on the transfer. But there's not really a lot into it other than that.
I'll go against what we've seen, right, as well, because especially in the latter weeks of the season, Tuchel was giving Ziyech massive chance. Wasn't there a story as well? It said something like if he scores, he can have a day off. Seems like the relationship's quite good, if anything.
Yeah, he played the FA Cup final. Did he play? He didn't play the Villa game, did he? No, he didn't. He didn't play the Villa
match.
Played
the Man City away.
Yeah, played Man City away.
Yeah, against City.
Like he hasn't had a majority of game time, but he's had matches and he's had key games as well. So this is just all out of left field for me. Now, I'd say his performances haven't really justified him starting either, but there's been reasons behind it, which is why I'm a bit understanding of it.
I think the main issue with Ziyech is he was the one that we hoped would hit the ground running first. I think a lot of the other players, there's a lot of potential we see in them, and even though we haven't seen the best of Havertz or even Pulisic, we still hope that in the future these guys are going to develop into great players. We kind of wanted Ziyech to be that here and now, and I don't think there's an aim to wait 3 years for Ziyech to mature into this perfect player. So I can understand if he's frustrated. He probably didn't play as much football as he wanted to. I mean, he probably wouldn't have expected to be on the bench for a Champions League final and even the semi-finals when he was coming to Chelsea. So I'm not really surprised by this news, to be honest.
Even with his injuries and his bad form when he did come back, because I would understand why he had limited game time this season. If anything, the only way I wouldn't is if you compare it to Werner, for example, who's had much bigger runs of bad form and still got consistent game time.
But I don't think players ever look at it and go, "Oh, I played bad, so therefore I shouldn't be playing." I think they're obviously disappointed in their own bad performances, and they feel like the manager should be giving them as much of an opportunity as possible. I feel like he's done well in games against Man City. He scored against them in the FA Cup, scored against them in the league. I'm personally not the biggest fan of Ziyech. I don't think he's really done it in blue for us. Other than a couple of games under Lampard. But I can understand why he would be annoyed because he didn't come here to be a bench player.
Of course, but you got to I understand that, but you can have your reasonings behind feeling why you shouldn't be a bench player. But you can also understand why you've been a bench player for this season at least. Next season, I think with him being slightly more accustomed to the Premier League than he was when he first came in, if he's good enough and he's fit enough, he should have enough justification to play, because if he's good enough, he'll play. But he hasn't been, and he hasn't been sharp for long periods of the season. That's why I'm saying it's not Ziyech is a bad player. I just think he's suffered a lot of lack of match sharpness for a majority of the season. That's been half the reason why he's looked like he's ghosted in games.
Lewis, I don't think this formation brings the best out of Ziyech.
Yeah,
I don't think it does. If he, because I feel Tuchel may switch formations a bit next year.
Yeah.
And I feel Ziyech, we might see the better Ziyech in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. kind of situation. This one, although he's done well partly, I just don't think it brings the best out of Ziyech. So,
in what way? Because the way I look at it, the way he's playing under Tuchel in terms of the role he has in the team, I'd look at it in a similar way he had under Ten Hag Ajax, where if you look at the way they played at Ajax, particularly in the year they should have got to the Champions League final, their right and left attacking midfielders were very much inside forwards, and their fullbacks pressed on a lot, like with Mazraoui or Dest, and then Tagliafico on the left-hand side as well.
I just think the slight change maybe to a 4 at the back instead of a 5 might see him freed up a bit more.
It gives you another option in the midfield.
Yeah, it gives us another option.
Remember,
he's able to float around a bit.
We had Quincy Promise. Quincy Promise was doing a lot of work in the Camero, and we don't really have that option.
And I think with that as well, when Van der Beek was in there as well, he was always the runner or the one making things happen. Yeah.
Because with our formation now, you genuinely have to do double the work as an attacker, because you have to make the runs but then you also have to drop down into the space to collect the ball. And it's not a matter of like, Timo Werner is the only one that really is tasked with making those runs, but you see even he drops down to collect the ball sometimes because he just will not get the ball. So they're tasked to do more, and so it forces them to not really be in their favorite spots, because we know Ziyech is a moment's player, and a moment's player is going to have his spots. He's going to have to be in his spots. Like, genuinely, how many times did we see him at the top of the box this season? Like, he was always down in the wing by the corner flag, just always trying to whip balls in, right? Like, we never really saw him in spots where he could take long shots or he could, pull something off. It looked like he was always stranded in some sort of position.
I was going to say, I mean, Zane in the comments as well said he doesn't fit in the system. And I kind of think, as someone who criticised Lampard a bit more, I think one thing he actually got right with Ziyech is because it's similar to what Scott was saying about how he worked at Ajax in a way, that Ziyech's best qualities are when he's sort of, the play's a bit more still and he could pick a pass. And if he's the furthest forward, he's going to have a lot less space. Like the Ziyech I think of is cutting inside with the time to pick a really good ball in a back post. I feel like at the tip of a 3-4-2-1, he just doesn't get that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard.
I just can't remember what the formation was when we played Burnley and Sheffield United, because I think those were his most outstanding games, like fully from start to finish. Really, I don't know if Lampard has switched to a 4-3-3 by then. So I know he switched it in the away tie against Krasnodar in the Champions League. So I'm not too sure whether he'd done it by those two games, because I just remember Ziyech, from start to finish, essentially, whether he can't remember his ball for not having, like, basically he was running the game. So
is everyone sort of like indifferent about Ziyech? Like, if he stays, fine. If he goes, that's okay too.
I'd like him to stay, but out of all the forwards we have, if he's the one that leaves, it is what it is. That's the way I see it.
Also, because he is the only midfielder we have that can pick a pass, like a good, consistent long ball. The only midfielder. Like, Jorginho can, but doesn't do it anywhere near enough. Kovacic is the same story.
Like, he's a winger. Like, let's be honest.
No, he's a midfielder. He's not a winger. Not what I'd consider a winger. He's a midfielder.
Okay,
Scott in like a fourth,
But if we were to play a 4-2-3-1, he would he would not play in the midfield. Like, you can't.
He plays the right of the three, but that doesn't mean he'd be an out-and-out winger.
That's what I'm saying. You feel me? Because the way that we're always going to have our system, he would never be a midfielder. That would always be a winger's position. So technically, he would literally be dead weight at the club. We don't need his like, in that position, we don't need what he does.
I disagree if we're getting a Lukaku or a Haaland. Literally, the thing they're going to rely on is service. And if he's the best player at whipping a ball in or,
he's the best player at whipping the ball in at the far post.
Not always. Like, as Alex said.
It is most of the time the far post, though.
It's not always, though.
But who's also on that right-hand side that can do the exact same thing? Just a little bit behind him.
What, Reece James?
Exactly. So it's not like we're gonna
No,
be.
but Reece and Ziyech work well together, where Reece can hit the outswingers and Ziyech can hit the in-swingers, so you don't really know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying someone else could also do that, in my opinion.
But I think one of the
Well, who do we have that
downsides.
can in-swing with their left foot?
Kai.
No, you can't.
Nah, you prefer Kai more centrally.
Yeah,
No,
Kyle's
exactly.
I would prefer him more centrally, but if we had a Lukaku or we had a Haaland, Kai is still getting on the pitch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and I think
you've got someone of a 6'2" frame. You'd rather him be in the box, even
Yeah.
with a Lukaku, because that's extra option.
But then we're gonna have. I feel like in that point we're gonna have too many people in the box to the point where it's just gonna be crowded.
You can't have too many people in the box. I want more people. That's our problem. We hardly get anyone.
We ain't got enough.
If you don't have anyone sitting, if you don't have anyone sitting behind you, that's when you're susceptible to counterattacks.
That's why when you have, so say we play a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-2-2-2, that's why you have a Mount or a Kante or a Kovacic or whoever sitting at the edge of the box, which again works if we have a DM. If we get a holding DM.
When I mean too crowded, I'm talking about if you have Timo going to the back post and you have somebody going near post. Okay, then yeah. I got it.
When I think too, like one of the downsides to Ziyech on the right is he becomes a little bit predictable because he's always looking to cut back onto his left to swing that ball in. It's very rare, like he whipping a ball in with his right foot. It's always going to be a cutback turn to get on his left. Like that becomes a little bit predictable if he's playing by himself up top in a winger's position. It's regardless if he gets the ball in or not, it's that bit of predictability for the defender to know, well, this guy, he's not going to take me on to the line on his right foot. He's always going to try to cut me back and get on that left. It just sort of just makes things a little easier to read from a defensive point of view if he's playing on the wing.
So with Ziyech, for me, he's one of those players that is in with the fan base. It can go either way because he's not a fan favourite. He's not a Pulisic. He's not a Hudson-Odoi. He's not a fan favourite player on the wing. He's one of those players that if he goes, if he stays, not. He's one of those. Fortunately, it's not his fault, but I think it's because of the team he's in, with the players around him. Unfortunately, he doesn't stand out. Do you know if that makes sense?
Give me a sec. Let me go through a few of the super chats as well. Jess is saying if you sign Haaland, bring in Hazard for the Triple H attack. It's all about the game. Just taking a piss. Hazard is dead food. CBA. Why do we have to end on Hazard slang, my man? Big up for the donation as well. Artem saying also reports about Bayern going for Hudson-Odoi. Again, we'll go into that in just a few minutes. Dortmund saying, Phantom Many Tomic saying Dortmund can use Ziyech. Sancho plays on the right. But then if we're saying that and we're saying we're in for Haaland, you're also saying Sancho's leaving at the same time, and they're both not
guaranteed to leave this season.
Wait, hold on. Was it
no, but if we get Haaland, then there's no way they both leave.
There was an article.
They have to sell. They have to sell Sancho. I've said this before because of the agreement they've made with him. If they go back on that, do you know how that's your star player? Do you know how bad that's going to be for the dressing room atmosphere, for a new coach to come in and try and deal with that? That's
why Dortmund are keeping their feet on the ground and they're saying Haaland's not for sale then, because their focus is getting Sancho out first.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
kind
the twist on thing.
I still don't see why they wouldn't be able to sell both of them. I mean, you're talking about well over 200 million, and that also gives us a bit of a positioning with if we do include a Callum Hudson-Odoi going the other way or something like that, he'll fill a need for them to replace Sancho. And they'll have an insane amount of money to buy a striker or a young striker. They have that young kid already, a 15, 16-year-old kid he's a beast though. But
16,
he's young. He's very young. But
pressure on a 16-year-old.
They always play young players too though. It's just an idea that they could clear an incredible amount of money this summer and also get a player to replace Sancho for the future. I mean, I don't see what
that's the thing. You get rid of both of those players, though. Who are they bringing in? And also, they have to look at Spain as well.
They find someone.
I know who they're.
Yeah, but easier said than done, isn't it? One of your most appealing points, if you're Borussia Dortmund, other than the fact that you're going to give young players time to develop and the proper game time, is that they would have a player like a Haaland or a Sancho, a big game player like that, a top quality player. You get rid of both of them, then who do you really have other than Jude Bellingham, who you still have to wait to see develop?
That's the thing. I know, striker-wise, I know who they could go and get to replace Haaland. There's been reports of them going to get Sasha Kalajdzic from Stuttgart, which he's had a good season, so that'd be a good replacement. But the problem you're going to have, and I mentioned this yesterday, is like, or not, I think it was yesterday, whatever it was, is you've got a new coach coming in, you've lost your two biggest stars. As far as I'm aware, Eintracht Frankfurt haven't lost anyone from who they lost last year, bar Adi Hutter, the manager. So they're going to go again. Like, trying to get top 4 next season if you sell your two biggest stars, all of a sudden becomes massively difficult.
The issue is, Scott, though. The issue is, Scott, if someone drops you £150 million for one player, I don't care. It's business now. Do you know what I mean? It's business. You don't turn down £150 million for one player when you could lose him £90 million less next season. I'm sorry, it doesn't make business sense. Part of me is going, they put this £150 million bit is because they didn't think anyone would have the nerve to even try and go for him for £150 million this year.
Like Rice, like Rice.
Yeah. But the issue is, if you know, like I said, business wise, it just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense for them to miss out on 90 million.
In business sense terms, sorry, I was going to point on that. I'd argue in terms of business sense, it doesn't make sense to sell all your best players to your rival.
They do it all the time.
But I'd argue that doesn't make business sense because it means every single year you're guaranteed to finish below them. That's earning less money.
Remember, this is the team that lost Lewandowski on a free transfer to Bayern Munich.
Yes, I'm saying their business sense is awful. So they're saying they're going to have bad business sense. I don't think they care. If they can sell Sancho this year, keep Haaland, guarantee themselves top 4 for next year. In the meantime, like, absolutely guaranteed to get a good replacement for him. Still get 70 odd million for him, which is not bad money. Yeah, it's half of what they could get now, but it's not bad money. And it means they're guaranteed themselves top 4.
My thing is this, yeah. If Chelsea put the money in, they're going to sell him because that's an astronomical amount of money. But ridiculous. My question is, would they sell Haaland and Sancho in the same summer? Yeah. I don't think they do that.
Depends how much United are divering, Oscar. Depends if they're divering again, United.
Man United, they're apparently meant to be interested in Haaland as well, but I'm not even listening to United's interest. They can't even get Sancho over the line.
Preparing a bid for Sancho or something like that.
You don't think Dortmund would be happy with 130 and Callum Hudson-Odoi?
That's the stupid.
No, apparently there was a report from the Standard that we're trying to do Tammy. And
why people keep trying to bargain in Cho? Everyone's throwing Cho in all their dream deals. Leave him alone.
Can I be real? Cho doesn't really get involved with this sort of deal because you need a striker for striker replacement. So I don't get why Cho's name's involved in it. Yeah. We're talking about Erling Haaland. Like, the only that really makes sense is Tammy, and they've said Chelsea have tried to see if they want to take Tammy Abraham on a player plus cash deal, but that hasn't been said whether it's been accepted or not. And the fact that Dortmund still have their feet on the ground is only hinting at the fact that that's not really enough for them.
See, I've listened to the person I said, and it said that if we do a deal, then it would be Hudson-Odoi involved. Now, obviously, I don't want that because I would rather Hudson-Odoi be there. But the deal, what I've been told yesterday and day before, this deal, if it goes on, it won't take long. They're all giving the green light. Go. We're going to get him no matter what. But I've read up earlier about Marcus Thuram might be going to Borussia Dortmund because obviously he worked with under the same coach and they can come in as place as Sancho and he can play striker as well.
He'd be a direct replacement for Sancho. So, and people saying that I don't think that it's going to that they're saying that I don't think it's going to be accepted. I'm not saying that. If we put that offer in, it will be accepted. But my point is that we'd have to absolutely put that offer in. We can't haggle and go, can we go down to this? No. They're going to want what they want. There's no shifting because they have no intention of, they don't need to sell him. He's not made it clear he wants to leave. It's a case of we pay the money or we don't get him. There's no haggling involved.
thing is with the money, just because like a lot of we're used to seeing these sort of figures and thinking there's no way a club can spend that or no way a club would spend that. I think one of the big things at the moment is FFP is at its literal lowest influence. Yeah. So if this is the time to ever spend money, probably be now.
Exactly.
Isn't it like done? Isn't it gone?
No,
it's not actually
there. It's just been relaxed.
It's at its weakest.
To adjust to COVID.
Weakest impact.
And the City thing really destroyed it.
I would say we recoup a lot. We recoup a lot through player sales as well. So it's not like we're really ever in jeopardy of like, we only spent we spent 400 million and didn't sell.
Right, it means we have to sell.
Yeah, and the transfer ban also means we're a year behind on whatever we have. Because when we had the transfer ban, we all said all the earnings from Hazard, Morata, the Europa League win and finishing in the top 4. So the year after, we didn't need to spend anything we earned from 1920. So we've got that in reserves now for this season as well. So the transfer ban's been like the biggest bit of luck for us in years, man, because our transfer activity was shocking before then as well.
Yeah, I think money's probably the least issue in this deal for Haaland, to be honest with you. I think we would spend whatever it takes to get him if it was available to happen. Like if it was in the cards and he was down for it, we would spend whatever.
Yeah, and based on the stuff that's come out today, it's not like he wants Chelsea as his only choice, but he's okay with the decision. He says he likes the project that we have, likes to age around the squad, the idea of living in London as well, and being in the Premier League where his dad used to play, which would mean that he's willing to join us, but it also doesn't mean that we're his only choice either, which is why we're stuck in a rock and a hard place where we could either go now and spend more money, or we could wait till next season, spend less money, but then you have so many other suitors for him because it's such a cheaper price.
I think as well, in terms of just like for him, if he's looking, the way I'd probably look at it if I was him, it's like I'm at an age where 2-3 years with Chelsea, if we win stuff, like I'm guaranteed to move to either Real Madrid or City, which I can guarantee are the two places he wants to go most, like, or even Bayern, like when Lewandowski retires, like him going to Chelsea, it's like another step up, and then he knows he's almost guaranteeing himself a big move in a few years' time.
I think I was rereading something actually the other day about obviously when Haaland moved to Dortmund, the other club involved was United. I think the headlines were just United failed to agree, but from what I've read, like Nottingham Athletic things, they had actually agreed pretty much everything with Haaland, and they had a deal agreed, but it was just the terms of the release or buyback clause and the Mino terms. That's the only thing that threw it off. So he could have gone to United. So I guess he could go to one of the cities. But I will think, just to address the Dortmund sell thing, I think they would. I actually think they would sell Sancho and Haaland in the same summer, purely because they probably have, not even probably, they will have targets lined up, like 8 or 9 players who they could bring in with that money. And also, to them as well, they don't want to keep a player too long. Because I was listening to Scott earlier. Scott was making a really good point about it's not just the image of like they've got the best players, but also the reason they keep getting these players is because the youngsters want to go there knowing they're not going to stay their whole career in Dortmund. They're going to go there a couple of years, then move on. That's why Sancho will obviously definitely move, like you were saying before.
Again, I mean, they can do a lot with 250 million.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not, again, I'm a Chelsea fan, but I follow Dortmund quite a lot, so I know that club very well. This thing of they won't sell both is not true. They definitely would for the right money. Every time they sell their players at the peak of their powers to maximize the amount of profit they can make on the player. And for sure, literally it will come out and they'll be like, if this news gets really big, they'll come out and be like, okay, if you want Haaland, you're going to have to pay this amount of money on this date, because they need to obviously save face, because then they can be like, well, we couldn't say no to this amount of money. However, we now have enough time to find an adequate replacement. They already have that adequate replacement lined up. There's Gio Reyna there. There's Agnes Knauf. There's Tig coming out from the youth team, and they'll probably go and sign another striker anyway. So they do have those replacements there already, but they need to keep their image in like world football where it needs to be. So if you are going to sell both your players, they need to like almost set the parameters, and then you just have to follow. It's very simple. The thing is, Marino will try and negotiate it down. I can see him leaving.
Which is just stupid.
I can see him going for like instead of 150, it being 140. But it's not going to be as big a drop from like Havertz when it was quoted at 110. It won't be like that, but it'll be 10 mil max.
If there is a movement, it's literally 10 mil and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Like there's not going to be anything less because again, they have absolutely no reason to sell him for anything less than what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah, Arsenal saying as well, can't guarantee top 4. They barely made it this year. But if they don't leave this summer, they leave next. So it doesn't really mean that much if they hadn't even made it because all they had to do is make top 4.
Also, the release clause is 70 mil. If we offer them 150 or 140, that's basically a Champions League campaign worth of money in the transfer anyway.
Yep.
So they'll look at it and be like, well, we might as well take it.
Yeah, they would be absolutely absolutely nuts to leave 70 million on the table.
Yeah.
Paulia's saying if we offer 150 mil, Bayern will take it. Issue Marina isn't going to negotiate herself, just like you were saying, David. No one else's money now, and Bayern only gets 70 next year. Marina offers 120 tops, I would think. Does Bayern still take that? I still think we try and throw a player in the deal, though. Because Marina will always try and negotiate it down. And the easiest way to do it is to take a player out, because you take their wages out of it as well.
Yeah,
I could see with enough haggle, Tammy would end up going in the other way because he wants out too.
Some people wouldn't be happy, but Cho and everyone in Germany loves Cho. They all love him. Like they all put serious money to Cho. So if you they would probably want Cho as a Sancho replacement if, in theory, Sancho was to leave anyway. So that is one player who is an option. However, would Chelsea fans be happy with that? No. They wouldn't.
The thing with
Sancho and Haaland out and Tammy and Tammy and Hudson-Odoi in.
The thing with me, if we're chucking Hudson-Odoi, which I'm not opposed to, you'd have to seriously get that number down. Like with how much Cho has been touted for and how much, as you said, he's wanted in Germany. Like 120 plus Cho is a bad deal for us. Like if it's got to be 100 mil max plus Cho, maybe a little bit less. Like if we're chucking Cho in. Tammy and 120, I'm calm with, but if it's Cho, you know he's going to go for big money, and you know as he's wanted. So like it can't be any more than about 100 if we're chucking Cho in.
Another thing to throw in here. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you guys Chelsea fans, you're the experts, but from what I've looked at, there is not a single Mino Raiola talent on the Chelsea squad at all.
Yep.
And they've not interacted with him at all from what I've read. So I guess it's somewhat of a clean slate, but Mino is one of the most, ball aching agents out there.
We tried negotiating for Lukaku in 2017. That's the whole reason why it didn't go through.
That was our fault though more because
that's right. We were differing. We didn't.
Yeah. The thing is,
was it negotiations with Raiola?
No, the summer they had it all sorted. It was there. All we had to do was submit the bid, but we were trying to argue over a couple million here and there. And United came in. And
we didn't match United's bid till after he accepted the deal with them,
and it was done. It was done by them.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Mino, all you have to do is play his player. It's very simple. You don't hear Mino has loads of clients. You don't hear him piping up all the time. The only time he pipes up is when he wants a new contract or if his player's not playing in a position he feels like he will. Haaland's going to play striker for us. He will.
Or just don't call his player out as well.
Oh,
Just don't give his player
Could you imagine we had Lampard and Haaland was, oh my God, man would be like, he wouldn't be on, he's not on it today. Mino would be like, this Lampard guy, don't know. And that's where the issues come in. However, we've now got a manager who's won a Champions League. So, and he knows how to deal with these big egos, having managed Neymar and Mbappe.
I was going to say, did he have anyone under Mino Raiola at PSG? Because Keane wasn't there at the time.
Verratti, I think Verratti is.
Is Verratti under Mino Raiola?
Is Verratti and Raiola?
I've got a map actually.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's Moise Keane and Verratti.
Yeah,
Moise. I know there's a youth player in the PSG youth academy.
Xavi Simons.
Xavi
Simons.
He obviously didn't interact that much, but Verratti is then. So yeah, he's used to dealing with Raiola as well.
All I'm going to say, guys, is pray for the rivals. We're coming to rule the world. Chelsea are back where we belong, and everyone's going to look up to us. That's what's going to happen now. Everyone is going to be looking up and saying, we've got to beat that team because they're the new Glasgow. They're the new team to look out for.
It would be nice to get it done early so then we have all the other coaches sweating for 3 months.
yeah,
what the
because
potential.
And the good thing is he has no Euros as well.
Exactly.
So
So
there's not
he's
that.
fresh.
There's not
He's
that
fresh.
barrier in the
Thomas
way.
Tuchel has 2 or 3 months with him to properly integrate him into Chelsea, into England, and then to unleash him, and have all the other coaches sweating about. Okay, we only had to worry about these. We only had to worry about Kai and that last time. Now we've got to worry about Kai. We've got to worry about Werner. We've got to worry about Haaland. It'd be nice for them just to sweat all over, just to be sweating, going, I don't know how I'm gonna stop this.
But then that would give City time to get Kane.
Yeah, I would say it basically makes City cut a $200 million check for Kane right
they're
away.
gonna have to break. They're gonna have to.
But they're gonna do that
have to
anyway.
180.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It low-key
He's gonna
feels
do
like
what City are gonna do.
that's the thing. It feels like an arms race. I think it all depends on whoever makes the first move. If Man City go and they make a strong move for Harry Kane, it's gonna force Chelsea to make a move for Erling Haaland. I think the same way vice versa. Because for Man City, we already know if they get a striker, the league is done. Unless we go and get a striker too. Same thing for them. They know if we get a striker, we're on their necks. They have to go and get a striker too.
But
I think we're both in a rush to try and develop
anyway.
teams the quickest.
I think they're gonna get Lukaku.
Sorry.
Man City's gonna get Lukaku.
They're not going to get Lukaku. They will not.
Lukaku. Wait. No, wait. We were just talking
Definitely
a few days ago about how Lukaku's staying, and now we're saying he's going Man City.
No, I'm saying if
It's not that.
It's not a Pep profile.
I was going to say, I can't think of a
Haaland.
less Pep player than Lukaku.
If we get Haaland, it will make sense for them to get Lukaku. With the way that they do their business, the fact that they have De Bruyne on their team, who's literally his international teammate, feeding him
I'll be
goals
real.
at international level and domestic.
Nah, but I think
I'll
it's a
be real
system
with you.
thing, Dad.
It would
It's
make-
not
if
the
we're
way
talking-
they play.
Yeah, I was going to say, it would make more sense for them to go and get Dries Mertens and he's 35 than it would do Lukaku.
Lukaku, they don't make sense. I don't know why he'd leave unless we were going to be interested too.
Like, it's not even that. Like, he just doesn't suit Pep at all in the slightest. Like,
yeah,
that's just.
Go on, Oscar. What were you going to say?
They were linked together by the
No,
time.
just
before they
earlier
came
you
out,
were
like,
saying
hey,
you were saying like it should like push a chain reaction. Like if Chelsea buy a striker, then it'll force City to, and if City buy a striker, then it'll force us to. The thing is, if City don't buy a striker and we don't buy a striker, they're in a better position than us for the league next season.
Yeah.
So regardless,
I wouldn't
we need
even
to go
say
out and
that.
get Haaland.
The
I
thing is,
wouldn't
I
even
don't
say
think
that,
it
to be
matters
honest.
either way.
I'll say.
But I think it matters.
No, because look at the way we've both been playing since Tuchel joined.
Yeah.
Like we've been on Man City's necks for the longest part, except for maybe the end of the season where we've had one eye on the Champions League final and one eye on the league form. So I'll be real. To say under a full season of Tuchel versus Pep that could go either way with a striker or without a striker, I don't think it's too far off.
Nah, we're not winning the league without a striker. We're not.
To add to that
City's a
quickly,
world-class manager,
City
but
did it
we're
without
not
a
winning.
striker.
City are a better
Yeah,
team than
but
us.
I was going to say, look at
Really
the team
hasn't
they
shown the
have.
last
Their
few
team-
games.
Yeah, individually we can beat anyone. We can beat anyone one-on-one.
And we can also beat anybody on our day too. It's the same thing for both of us.
No,
The
I'm
one thing
saying
that
both
Tuchel
sides.
does
Yeah,
is
but
that
who's more likely to have
squad
more off
is-
days? Who's more likely to have more off days?
We
City
are.
or
We've
Chelsea?
proven
We
it.
are.
We've proven it.
And on their off days, who's more likely to have someone who's going to be able to impact that game to help them? Man City.
I'd
they have a
agree.
better
I'd
overall
agree
squad.
if we didn't have such an inexperienced attack with a lot of players that needed to settle into the Premier League in their first season. I think in the second season you can give a lot less leeway to that.
and
Also,
half of
there's
a season with a manager
point.
that, was not really up to task.
He was
The
bad.
thing is-
Just say it. He was bad.
Who was that?
quickly add
Saw
to
my
the
Lampard.
quickly add to the Pep Tuchel thing because it's an interesting thing. I think that will come down to I was like doing a bit of notice before a couple on the street to really figure it out. I do think because when Haaland moved to Dortmund, it came out the reason he chose Dortmund, one of the bigger reasons. I know they did agree in terms of United, but a thing behind moving to Dortmund was him and Mino discussed what's the best way to advance his career, and they said that's the best way to learn and get better. So he's even though he's quite like one of the best strikers, he's still got quite down to earth. And I do think the reason I say that is because I think he'll look at Chelsea and City and think the fresher projects that I can go to is Chelsea. Because even though Pep's saying I will stay at City, I don't know if like the dressing room is not happy there by Man City's own reporters'
To
accounts.
be fair, though, don't Mino and Pep hate each other?
Yes.
Yes.
They said
but
it's
with
resolved,
Zlatan,
but
Barca days.
The only reason I said City, him going City early, is because his dad played for City, and I think bar Leeds, that's like his next favourite club.
Yeah.
I think. That's the only reason I said City. But like that would have to be after Pep leaves, and if like another world-class manager came to them.
Yeah, so I think Chelsea do have the advantage there, and they're helped by the fact that there's only I'd say only Bayern, United, and then if you really want to try and stretch, like PSG and Juventus will be able to afford Haaland at the moment. I don't think all of those clubs are even in for him.
Juve wouldn't unless
not even
stretch.
Not even Bayern would want to spend 150 million on a player.
They've already spent a big part of their
They're a
budget
team
on
where it's like, this is in our own league. We can buy all of the best players for like max 40.
They couldn't even afford that, could they?
No, they could. They could if they really wanted
now?
to. They've got enough in their squad to make up the difference, but they wouldn't see it as a worthwhile investment.
They only really do one big transfer a year, don't they, Bayern, really? And they've done it up in the
And they've already done it. No, they've done two, haven't they? They've done one.
Not for a huge amount.
80 mil on Hernandez. That was quite big.
Yeah, no, but
ultimately that wasn't worth the money.
And I think that's another thing. I think that's in our favor too. Is a lot of these big clubs have aging squads, and so it's in our favor that we have a very young.
Bayern is not an aging squad except for
Lewandowski
and Muller. Except for Lewandowski.
They did lose 3 very influential players in their past 8 years this season because they're a bit old.
There's only like 3 positions that they're aging at. Kimmich is in the prime of his career. He's 26. Goretzka is like 25. And then
they're 3 first team positions. We pretty much only have Aspi in our first team that's like aging.
I know, and then we also have 3 first team positions.
In Venice, I don't think Bayern are aging, but they're definitely a lot older than Chelsea.
I'm not saying that they're past it long in the tooth or whatever, but most of their squad compared to ours, we could put out an entire 11 that's like in their mid to lower 20s.
That's true. That's
big up to Guru as well, saying I would see Man City choose Lautaro over Lukaku. Yeah, he's more of an Aguero replacement.
From every so I did a bit of research on him for a uni project, and every bit of talk coming from people that have been around him says he's the exact it's an identical mold to Aguero. The way he plays, the build, just everything about him is so similar to Aguero.
Is he Argentine too?
Yeah,
he's Argentine. Literally everything.
However, Aguero's father's saying it was all bullshit anyway.
Yeah,
he didn't rate him. The tears are all fake. They're all fake.
Yeah, he got a special stick on his eyes. You know what I mean? It's like that. Or someone rubbed some onions into his eyes or something like that to make him cry.
One thing I'm seeing about the Haaland deal that a lot of people are talking about, which I don't get, is about the possibility of us signing Erling Haaland and then loaning him back for the season to Dortmund. It literally doesn't make any sense. They're linking it to when it happened with Christian Pulisic, but the difference with Pulisic is that we had Hudson-Odoi, we had Hazard, we had William, we had Pedro, we had wingers. They might not have been the wingers we wanted, but we had wingers. We need a striker now. It doesn't make sense to spend 150 million on a player, or even take it down to 100 and then just send him back. Because now we still have to go out and get another striker.
Yeah, and
that should never make sense to me.
We signed Pulisic in the winter, and we loaned him back.
The only transfer recently who's done that is Mbappe, and that was only to get around FFP anyway. So
I think Naby Keita was the same, right?
Yeah.
No, but Naby Keita stayed. Yeah, he stayed there. Yeah, he did stay there the whole season.
For 6 months.
Mbappe wasn't the same though because they loaned him in. They loaned him with a
loan to buy. Loan to buy, wasn't it?
It was a loan to buy. Yeah. It wasn't they bought him and
they didn't loan him back to Monaco. They loaned him because to get around FFP, they loaned him with a agreed fee of 166.
I thought 141.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
They agreed a price, but they just loaned him from Monaco.
The only 2 that have been done in recent time are Keita and Pulisic, and neither of those were key players in this, the teams they were going to.
At that time, Pulisic wasn't the best player in that Dortmund team.
He wasn't getting played.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't getting played.
Sancho had usurped him due to his injuries.
Yeah, he wasn't being careful.
Unfortunate. He was really good before the injuries. Then the injury happened, and Sancho just kind of took it and ran with it, and it was like, I don't know what to do now. So,
Did y'all watch
I've got to bounce because I'm going out. But catch you guys later.
I've got night.
Did y'all watch the Nations
Take
Cup
care.
part?
I was
Did we
gonna
watch
say.
The
I was gonna
Nations Cup
say
final.
if you want to do, if we want to do a swap deal,
You should have. That shit was good.
I think I'm watching USA Mexico voluntarily.
Bruh, that shit was good. I like you hating. Had more goals than a lot of the competitions we've had this year.
Bro. I don't know anyone in the teams. Really, I don't really care. It's Nations League. You should be winning it. You have 400 million people in your country, okay? And there can't be little Mexico. Come on, you should be winning.
Enough. That's not enough when everyone's out here playing basketball and football.
Yeah, LeBron doesn't play soccer.
Soccer over here, big dog. We got.
Nah,
I mean,
I don't think
let's
you
not
had.
talk about
He said
LeBron because Devin
400
Booker came
million
along.
people.
250. Hold on. Corona gave us a big hit. Hold on.
Monster, just put the link through now, bro. What other stuff are they saying surrounding the Haaland deal? Dortmund states that he's not for sale, whereas Chelsea do not stop interest in him. Yeah,
Barcelona said Neymar wasn't for sale either.
If you're in Dortmund position, like, Dortmund can't be thinking like, we're happy with 70 million and we'll just go with it. And hopefully,
here's the thing: he could ball out next season, be worth even double what he's worth now, and then you lose him for half the price you could have originally got him for. That doesn't make any sense to me.
But Lewis, you said also that if let's say if Haaland does come to Chelsea, then it feels like at the end of the day he's gonna use Chelsea as a stepping stone for Real Madrid move.
I'm cool, no problem.
I have no issue with that.
Use us as a stepping stone.
If he gives us 5 years, 4 or 5 years,
yeah, because in order for that stepping stone to happen, he has to play well for us. So
listen, if we give him a 6-year contract and he wants to leave after 3, but he's balled out and scored 100 goals and got us trophies, I don't care. We move on, we get the money, and we move on and buy someone else. That's how it works. That's how it works.
But we say that it's easier said than done. Then you get to the point you've sold Haaland for 250 million, and then you go for any striker and you got to pay double the price because they know you have money.
If they're smart, if they're smart, they should know in the back of their mind and already be. If we sign Haaland, be planning it already.
You see, shout out Cause. Shout out Cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be planning it already. They should know. In 3 or 4 years, he's going to go. Let's see, he's got in the 2nd year or 3rd year of his contract. Let's see who's balling out. Let's start the preparation for that player to come in next. That's what it should be doing. Whether we'll do that or not, I don't know. But that's what you should be doing.
Well, I mean, we're all used to the fact that a lot of players, they have that dream of playing for Real Madrid. Eventually, we saw it with Eden Hazard. He came to our club, won 2 Premier Leagues, Player of the Year, and at the end of it all, he was like, "I want to go and play there." And it didn't really affect us, did it? We got the money that we wanted. We got the best out of it.
And he's never regretted it since.
Well, we had a year left on his contract when he left.
Yeah,
he only really gave us the final year anyway, just because it was us.
Yeah, we had 7 years. We had 7 years of Hazard. Did you want any more? Like,
I would have wanted a few more. I can't lie to you, bro. I'm happy we got his 5 years and everything. But think about it. When Hazard first left, we were all shitting it for the next season.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of how optimistic you could be about the youth, we were sitting there like, I personally thought we were going to finish 6th as the highest position.
Yeah.
If we had a really good season, we finish 6th.
When every other team in the Premier League is happy that he's gone, it makes you sad that he's gone. Like,
trust me, do you remember rivals that did 1-8? Like, Hazard was a baller, you know. It's like, yeah, you always knew he was a fucking baller. You just never wanted to say it.
The way I see it, though, with football, you always have to be ready for the next generation. Like, you always, like when Manchester United sold Cristiano Ronaldo, they never replaced him, and you can see how Manchester United have turned out now. Like, you've always got to make sure that you've got your players coming to that peak, and then you've got the players beneath them that are ready to come up.
Oscar, you know what you don't want to do? You don't want to do a Spurs when they got the Bell money and buy lots of shit.
Oscar, I don't think
that's what you don't want to do.
Oscar, is that really fair? Is that really fair?
Is what fair?
The Manchester United point.
Yeah, 100% fair.
They won the league
I
after.
agree because they won a Premier League after he left.
It's when Sir Alex left.
Okay.
Exactly.
What team won the Premier League after he left? Are you talking about that 2011 team or the 2013 team?
The Van Persie team.
Either of those Manchester United teams don't compare to the Ronaldo team. They don't compare to the treble winning team.
But you can't replace Ronaldo though.
I say in fairness,
but they didn't
never replaced him either, really.
Let's put it into this terms, right? We once Hazard left, right? We won the Europa League, or even the season before that, we won the Premier League, right? We haven't won the Premier League since.
Yeah, Hazard's been gone 2 years. We had a transfer ban, and we won the Champions League. But we've rebuilt a whole new squad with that money,
and they did that with that money.
Oscar, it's not Ronaldo.
No, United didn't do it well. United did not do it well.
United only got through on the back of the fact that they still had the brilliant back forward that they originally had, and firing on all cylinders, and Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah,
it wasn't because of the players they brought in.
Guys,
they got in Ronaldo. They brought in Obertan, Michael Owen, and somebody else. Like their chance for
you ask all the United fans. You ask all the United fans.
They didn't have adequate manager.
All the United fans I know now. Valencia. All the United fans I know now will still they'll still tell you they still haven't replaced the person on that right wing. They'll still tell you to this day.
That's why they're going for Sancho.
Exactly.
The thing is, when you talk about teams that have it's a good debate, to talk about replacing these players and things. But the thing is with this is a bit unfair because you only remember the teams that replaced it badly. No one remembers Dortmund selling Aubameyang, getting Julian Brandt and Torgan Hazard in. I mean, who remembers Dortmund selling Aubameyang and losing him? You can do it well. It's just you don't forget those examples.
Now Julian Brandt won't bench.
We spoke about it earlier, though. We were speaking about when we were talking about Dortmund, the idea that we know they're the type of club that if they do sell, they've got the replacement lined up. I feel like with Ronaldo, Manchester United won the Champions League and the league. They're one of the best teams in Europe, clearly. They won the league again, yes, but they won the league with Cleverley and Danny Welbeck. They weren't at the same level.
It's because of Ferguson, though. It's because of Ferguson.
What we're saying is that Man United didn't spend the money. That's what I mean. If
No. The thing is, Ferguson can make a group of average players look world class. They look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true.
They sack. Be honest. Who can replace Ronaldo?
We're not saying anyone.
It's not one player. It's not one player. I'm talking about.
I know what you mean. They never rebuild. I know what you mean. But I feel like if Fergie was still in the position, Manu would not be the Manu of the past.
And it's same for us. It's not one player that's come in to replace Hazard. It's Pulisic, Mount, Havertz, all of them that have come in to build a new team from what he left.
Basically, what you've done is you break apart the team. And you put it back,
and then the respect of spending that money though. Say if Sir Alex Ferguson was like, "Yeah, I want this and that," I feel like Sir Alex Ferguson was bigger than whoever was spent the Glazers, not even the Glazers, but whoever had the power to spend the money. You had that pull. You know what I mean? So whoever comes in now,
I think the biggest. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I think the biggest thing. One of the biggest things they spent under Glazer is maybe a Berbatov for 30 million or something.
I will say
they haven't got anything over than that when he was there.
In fairness to United, even the last season of Ferguson, the 2013 one, that season was the last one before the Premier League got its big TV deal. So they're the last team to be. They basically got fisted by the Premier League because the team after that won it went boom and they kind of got stiffed a bit.
Yeah.
And then you replace Ferguson with Moyes.
We should think of it as well that
it was kind of his fault.
I was just going to say it's still a debate to Oscar. It's not necessarily about replacing Hazard or if to bring it back. If Haaland leaves in 4 years and we think what do we do now? It's not necessarily about replacing Haaland. It's how do you replace 25 goals? It's not about getting one player, it's getting 3 players.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about chances? Because I wanted to ask a big question to everyone about Hakimi. So obviously we've been linked with him today. I don't think it's the right move. I think James, for me is a better player than Hakimi.
Wayne, I think if we go wing back,
prefer Adama Traore. He's simply just cheaper. Hakimi, you're not
Adama Traore.
Cheaper.
Adama Traore isn't as bad of an option as people make it out to be, bro.
You're gonna spend 60 million on a backup option.
Bro, we don't even have to play him backup. Why don't we just put Reece James right centre back, which is on the two,
and put Hakimi at right wing back.
My guy, Reece James cannot play at right centre back. Sorry, man. Send the long on, my dude.
But then why don't we have Adama Traore in order to have the in order to switch formations?
Because I'm not gonna lie,
Adama Traore is bad.
I wouldn't take Adama for his free.
What sense?
Adama Traore isn't really bad. He looked bad. David. He's only really looked that bad because Raul Jimenez hasn't been in the squad this season.
But what big man do we have who should be scoring their headers?
Traore on the right hand side, so you stick 2 or 3 man on him, you can keep him a lot quieter. But if you play at Chelsea, where there's going to be so much more threat around the pitch, you give him more of an opportunity to shine. And like this graph's already shown, in the attacking positions of where he would be as a right wing back, he's had the most take-ons completed in all 3 of those this season, despite struggling. So there's clearly still a decent player in there. You just have to keep his job.
I ain't on the Adama Traore. I'm not on it.
I will say,
as long as it's not expensive, I don't care.
60 million for what?
Hakimi. Would I rather Hakimi for me is if we're gonna do the whole right wing back thing, Hakimi is 100%. Okay. Without a doubt, Hakimi is levels. He's levels above Adama Traore.
But he doesn't play good. He doesn't play good he doesn't play as a good right wing option in a in a back four. He's not a good.
You have a substitute.
But the thing is with Adama,
a better right wing option.
Yeah, but Adama Traore doesn't play right wing well.
But he's equal as a right wing back.
But he doesn't play right wing well.
But he does better than Hakimi. But
well done. Instead of having a 3-inch penis, we have a 2-inch penis at right wing. It doesn't make. It's not good.
So he's not doing his job.
He's not doing his job. He's not
equally as good as a right wing back.
Let's
level
Adama Traore.
You're gonna play double.
Wait. Go on, Europe.
I was gonna say, because similar. I actually do agree with Lewis. You're spot on for that take-on thing. Adama Traore, I'd say, it's been the last 3 years. He's probably one of the best dribblers in the world. He's great, but the big but he keeps dislocating his shoulder. He's got a chronic issue. And have you ever seen him when he comes on the pitch? You ever thought he looks a bit glistening?
Yes, because they oil him up.
They oil him up because if a player hits his shoulder, boom, it goes out. So that's also why he's been out of stats, because he has to glisten up, grease up so people can't grip him. So I kind of think it's really risky getting him.
You're an expert. He has to get surgery on it because I dislocated my shoulder and I sneezed one time and my shoulder came out. So, yeah.
I've been okay.
No, it's because you lose the when you tear it, the shit that's holding it up. It's like you lose it. It's like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So it's like it just comes out easily. You feel me? It just pops out. And after a while, you don't even feel it no more. You just pop it back in. You know what I mean? But they have to stitch that up so it just come out.
Yeah, I will say as well with Hakimi, I do think Chelsea try and go for him. You're in a battle because I think he's PSG's at the moment. Just not necessarily he'll want to go to him over Chelsea, but PSG haven't got a right back, so I think they're going to fight tooth and nail to get him.
He's not a good right back.
Yeah, but is he? I swear he's only a right wing back though.
Hey, David, let's be honest
though. Right back.
For real, David, $70 million for him. For what?
David, you said you watched Dortmund, right? Didn't he play in a back four? What was he like?
In a back four, going forwards, he was amazing. Going backwards, he wasn't great. However, in Germany, going backwards, you don't actually have to be that good. Because no one's good at going backwards in Germany. So he kind of got away with it. But he's at right back. It's like, again, if you're playing like a West Brom or like a Stoke City or someone like that, he's fine at right back because they won't have that many attacks anyway. And his attacking threat is a bonus. However, in those bigger games against better attacking options, you won't have him as your right back. That's where having a Thomas Meunier was to come in to have them swap round when they had to be a bit more defensive. But he's a very good wing back though. He's probably one of the best in the world. If we could get him at wing back and put Reece James at centre back, I think that's an improvement on the team.
I personally believe it's the same. I think it's the same.
Same.
Yo, did you guys touch on
Same. You just said he's one of the best attacking wingbacks, and yet all the stats point to Adama Traore.
What stats?
The stats look at his matchups as well. Look at his matchups as well. Not only that, look at his matchups as well. The amount of players that he takes on, the amount of players that he beats. He has some of the best numbers in Europe.
How many goals he scored?
And then nothing happens.
He's a right wing back.
Nothing happens.
How many? No. But as a right wing back, again, his chance creations
to do that.
As a wing back,
in our system, we prefer possession. As a wing back,
that's exactly why I don't want it.
He ain't creating that many chances. His thing is, I want, because the thing is with Adama Traore, the reason he completes so many take-ons, because in that Wolves team, it's like, for all I have to do now is when I get the ball, get my head down, do what I do best, and cross it in. That's what I do. In Chelsea, your role is far more complex than that. So he will be doing less take-ons because he will have to, because as you said yourself, we are a possession-based team. So if you're going to play possession ball, having one guy who's just constantly running just to beat people and then running himself into a corner is not a good thing.
It's even worse if we don't get a
player that's also better on the defensive side is also going to be more valued.
But I don't think Adama Traore is a better defender than Hakimi.
But then
stronger helps him out.
Don't forget, this decision making is so
which he can build on. Simply put, having a strong physical presence gives you a base that you can build on. So you don't have to learn how to get stronger and use your weight.
His decision making is so poor, man.
I think the notion that you'd rather have
him to be a right center back, you're asking him to be a wing back. To watch anybody that tries to get in behind, to keep them out with space.
What do you think? You think Hakimi is slow? Hakimi's rapid.
No, I think he's fast. I know he's fast, but it's about the strength as well. The strength that is needed. Look, did you see what we all saw what Reece James did to Sterling in that Champions League final, right? Yeah. That strength that you need, that strength. It's just a foundation that I'm talking about.
Is Ben Chilwell that strong?
No, he's not.
Yeah, but no one really talked about Adama Traore for his defensive work anyway. That's the thing.
Rudiger on his side to help him out as well.
With Adama Traore, the only thing that I can really give him as a strength is his play going forward. Defensively, we don't even talk about him as a defender. We barely even see him play a right wing back, let alone right wing.
But I'm telling you, I'm talking about the defensive presence itself.
He doesn't have any defensive presence.
But you got to do something with it after a while.
He's only won 45% of his tackles on dribblers, so that's a bit worrying if he's defensively.
The man's like you said, I think I'd be really. The Tuchel wants him fine, but if he came in, I'd be like, okay.
Have to be a cheap option. Anything over 25 million, I'm not into it.
To me, he's like if you got on FIFA, if you got a Reece James body without putting any talent into it. That's what he is to me.
That's harsh.
Do you know what I mean? I'm just sorry. He just is.
Fair enough.
I mean, if I give him, and listen, if Chelsea start a rugby team, he's first on my team. Do you know what I mean? I'm not.
Have you guys?
Gosh, I wouldn't take a bomb.
We can talk all we want about Hakimi, about what yada 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 yada. But if we're gonna sign Haaland, ain't no way we're getting Hakimi.
Why not?
It just don't make sense. The bread for what?
How does it mean make
because
sense?
We're going to spend 150 million on Haaland and then 60.
No, let's not
when you go through the squad, there's money in that squad. There's Tammy for 40
million. Not the money in the squad. We need to reinvest.
Tammy 40 million. Tomori.
You've got Cho.
He's not for sale.
If we sell all of those players, at first we already said we need a destroyer DM. Right?
We got 150 million in our bank, literally. Tomori for like 22. Who else? Tammy for 40. Cho for 40.
40? Cho? Bro, 40 mil.
Well, I don't know. Is it 17 or 40?
40
you
for
thought
Cho.
Sam against was 30 the other day. You fraud. Right, yeah.
That's the list of the players.
If we sell Cho, he is 60 million as a minimum, and anything higher than
Bayern
that.
Munich wanted 70.
No,
70
we can go
minimum.
higher still, but as a
That's what I mean,
minimum,
it's
it will have to
70
be
minimum.
60.
But he's
Guys,
not.
it's fine. Guys, it's fine. Guys, it's fine.
Breaking right now.
He's just not for sale.
I'm just confused. I'm a little confused because we're talking about all these players that are going to leave, right? And then we're talking about Ziyech has to leave. Aren't we going to have to replace him?
You said £150 million. We want to get Haaland, but
I'm saying £150 for Haaland, and then we're going to have to spend for a DM. Like we said, we need
£150. That's why we get.
That's what else.
We're gonna get DM by selling those players, though.
And then where's the money going to come from? Like who else? How are we going to get 80 million or 60 million? For
Can I just stop this? Can I just stop this right now? I'm
Please.
so this is against you. I'm so sick of Chelsea fans being part-time accountants. Do you know what I mean? I'm so sick of it. I really am. Roman Abramovich bought a painting for £95 million a couple of years ago. He spends $40 million on yachts.
$2.4 billion
He
during the
wants
pandemic.
Haaland.
Roman Abramovich also lost $2.4 billion during the pandemic.
Yeah,
So-
and he's still worth £13.5 million pounds. So
any
like,
money, I'm pretty sure any money that he will not have to put into the team, I'm pretty sure he will elect not to put into the team. Why do you?
He's still gonna eat, bro.
Let's be honest.
Are you okay? His kid's still gonna eat. Like, what are you talking about? He's not gonna eat.
Let's be honest. Why did he entertain the thought of a Super League? Because it's money that he would not have to put into the team.
Because it's money.
Let's be honest. What do you mean?
I want to get left behind.
It's about making more money. It's about making more money.
It put Chelsea amongst the elite football teams in the world. Why were we one of the first teams to drop out?
If Roman
Because the money
Abramovich
wasn't
not
that
put any
important for
money
us.
in, why are we going after Haaland?
Yeah, and with
This is
even
Roman Abramovich.
and if you're spending that money, like it's like Messi or Barca. If you sign Haaland, day one you're making a big bunch of money back. Not like in shirt sales, but like sponsorships. All different. That makes Chelsea easily like the top 5 teams in the world if Haaland comes. So it's like it's not necessarily like putting 150 million into the abyss. You're getting a lot of that back almost day one.
No. I fully agree. I don't think that we have the problem with the money to get Haaland. It's not about Haaland money. I'm talking about the price that we are going to have to spend to get Hakimi can be spent much more.
Hakimi won't be that expensive, Dad. Hakimi won't that be expensive.
Guys, if we want Hakimi, if we get Hakimi, all we got to do, guys, listen, if we get Hakimi.
How much is Hakimi going for?
40, 50.
One set is literally on the super chat. Marin says 80 million for a backup wing back in Hakimi seems radically unlikely. Tuchel can make Traore work. No reason to count unsold players as cash in hand.
If he makes Traore work, he's the greatest coach.
54 million.
Traore work.
54 million.
Bro, he's not 50.
This guy,
I feel like we have to strengthen him other places.
was back in big 2021. I'm not wouldn't be surprised.
64 million. They already put in a bid for 64 million.
Who did?
PSG.
PSG.
That was the reported bid.
64 million euros. That probably accounts to 80 million pounds or somewhere near.
No, it's the other way around. It'd be like
50 million or something.
It'd be 50, 55 million pounds.
Yeah, 50 million. Yeah.
Guys, it's fine. All we got to do with them is give him a bit of money and throw in AC, give him Christensen, we'll be fine. There's no issues.
I think
Just
what we
stop
have to do is.
panicking.
I think what we have to do is.
Man. You literally sent me your address an hour ago. Let's not do this.
Anyway, Lewis, I've got to go, bro. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
In a bit, David. I don't think we're signing Hakimi.
But I think what everyone has to do is separate the Haaland deal from the rest of our deals. I think the Haaland deal is separate from whatever we're doing else in the summer's budget.
By the way, can I just ask, is everyone on the Haaland train now? Is everyone officially on board? Because last week and a couple of weeks ago, I was trying to convince as many people as possible, but I felt like I was on my own. Only me and Johnny wanted Haaland. Everyone was on the Lukaku train.
No. Oscar, I wanted Haaland. I just didn't see it happening.
Everyone said Lukaku was first choice.
No.
Like, if it happens, I'll support it.
Didn't see Haaland.
Oscar, I'm hurt.
I'm in the caboose. I'm in the caboose.
I've been saying it since April. since April.
Cool.
I'm hurt, bro. Nah.
That's cool. That's cool.
I don't think
I'm
anybody
still
disagreed with
Lukaku
Haaland.
first, but if
Bro.
Haaland happens, it happens.
Amongst the Lukaku talk, I was standing here saying I want Haaland over Lukaku.
Nah. Scott and Lewis were heading up that.
I don't disagree. I don't.
Yeah, I
disagree,
headed
but
up the Lukaku train. I'm still on it.
That's
But
what
Haaland
I'm
comes,
I don't disagree.
That's what I'm telling you.
disagree.
Scott have been on the Lukaku train this whole
But
time.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I got a ticket for the Haaland train. If you want it, just let me know. I'm saving it. It's got your name.
Save
on
it, bro. If the
Nobody
train's
disagreed.
actually departing, I'll jump on before the end. Don't worry, man.
Nobody disagreed. I just think we're just like in our heads, we're not getting him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
like
was
he's
like,
way
no
too
way
high.
happening, yeah.
Like Haaland would be my first. You feel me? Even Kane would be like before Lukaku, but it's just like I was being realistic. You know what I mean? Like who can we actually get?
I hear you for sure.
But has anybody asked a question? I don't know much about it. I think you're an expert. You probably would know. Would that like his price tag upset the dressing room?
What Haaland?
Like
Haaland's price coming in?
Yeah. Like his wages.
It could do because that's the thing. We brought Amino before, and it could kind of get past the like in terms of don't mess with his players, but the wages is what I'd be worried about. And I mean, I know with Donnarumma, he's looking for like a 30 million cut. And I know he's a free transfer, obviously, but it's going to demand extortionate amounts. With Haaland, I get the rest of the Chelsea dressing room would have to accept that he is a god, and they just have to allocate his wages. But I mean, it's a good point to bring up, Joey. That might he has to be the highest earner, and if that means you have to drag other people up, then yeah,
I'd say quit worrying about another man's money. Worry about yourself when they're in the dressing room.
I mean, if it affects my team, bro.
No, I'm talking about the players in the team. The players in the team.
What they should have done?
Worry about your own bank accounts.
I think they're human though, bro.
They should have done what John Terry and Lampard did when they negotiated their contracts. Whenever anyone else came in above them, they would match them like that. So they would get a pay rise as well.
Well,
so
I wouldn't be surprised if people were going to start working that into their next.
I would
contract.
do that. I would do that next. If I'm Mason
you
Mount,
got to be worth it. You got to be worth it, though, innit?
If I'm Mason Mount, I go. I've already won a European Cup. If anyone now comes above me, if you pay them more, I want to get close to them or equal them for my next going forward. That's what I would do. That's what you should do.
Is that a clause that they have?
They can have that clause. Yeah, it's a clause they can put in their contract. I think it's called like Fair Nations or something like that contract. It's like you equal. Like you get a pay boost every time if someone comes in or something like that. So.
I think with Haaland though, it is worth it. Like as someone who as someone who prefers, like might be unpopular, like maybe Liga and bias. I prefer Mbappe over Haaland. Still, I remember watching Dortmund earlier this year against Wolfsburg. Right, they're 2-0 down. I think it was 0-0. Sorry, and they're one player down. Haaland's literally up there on his own against three defenders of one of the best defenses in Germany, one of the best in Europe. He wins 2-0 basically by like you know how I think that because there's probably still going to be some fans who are worried about Werner did it in the Bundesliga, is Haaland just getting that tax? But watching Werner in the Bundesliga, he was in a great system. That game, Haaland was the system. Like, I've never seen anything like it. So that's why like 200 million it's worth it.
Look what he did to Upamecano in the cup final. He ran through him like he weren't there.
Alex,
like
what
he
match
weren't
did you
there.
say?
Sorry?
Huh?
Alex, what match did you say?
What was the match?
It was against Wolfsburg, I believe. Just 2-0 away. That's what I've got in my notes.
He destroyed.
Look what he did against Ruben Diaz in the Champions League.
Yeah, he did it to Ruben Diaz.
Bodied him.
And you know, you just don't. I'm sorry. You just don't pass up on. You just don't pass up on opportunity. You just don't. You just don't. It'd be the same if anyone comes to us. It'd be the same if Mbappe as well was. You just don't pass up. I hate using this term because I think it's overused. He is and Mbappe are generation talents. I hate using that term. You just don't pass on it. It'd be like if it'd be like 10 years ago for Messi or Ronaldo. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're good, but like you don't.
I can't hear you guys though.
You are spot on. They're that level. Obviously, Messi and Ronaldo are like freaks, but those two are of the level. You have to just try and get at all costs.
And you know what? You don't worry about the price. Chelsea fans don't worry about the price. It's not
especially in today's game where striker is like so few and far between. The top guys is so hard to find.
It's a dying breed.
If we're willing to put 150,
pay it back in goals.
Do it. I won't say nothing about it. It's just if you want to go and get a cheaper option and Lukaku is there, I still back Lukaku. But if we end up going for Haaland, go for it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say anything. The only thing I'm worried about is the first season. But if no one cares about the first season, fuck it.
Lewis, let's be honest, if we get in the next 3 years 2 leagues and another European Cup, is anyone going to be, oh man, I wish we hadn't bought him? No.
I've never. But that's after the fact.
Yeah.
If we were to get Haaland, I've never been more confident in a signing at Chelsea.
We're going to smash teams. If he hits the ground from day one,
like I said, we're taking over the world.
What we create, we just need that person to finish. That's all we have ever been missing this season is people, and then all our guys that are supporting will be up for the assist award because all their stats will go up as well because he'll finish off. Plus, he can create on his own as well. We saw it in the cup final against Upper He just destroyed him and finished off that goal. I mean, he can do it, and if you haven't watched it, go watch his interviews, man. The mentality of this kid already at 20.
Yeah.
Is absolutely frightening. He just doesn't care. He's got a job to do. He does it on the pitch. He goes off and he waits for the next game. Do you know what I mean? So that's all he does. That's all he does.
He's definitely cut from that Costa mentality for sure.
I'm going to say, I know Monster's here, and I apologise, I'm going to take your saying, but we have to pray for the rivals because they're going to need praise. They're going to need it. We're going to be honestly, all the teams are going to be looking up to us and saying, "Damn, wish we was that."
Put it on a t-shirt, man.
Yeah, put it on, you should start doing mugs or something now.
Well, I'll consider that later on. I did say if Chelsea win the Premier League or Champions League, I'll do it, but I'll consider it. I'll consider it.
It's a back order.
I don't miss out on good merch with that, to be fair. That's a great shout.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying anyway? What's your thoughts on all the Haaland developments today?
I think it's going to happen. Or I think my view on it is it doesn't matter who's coming. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Doesn't matter who it's going to be. We are going to get someone. So if it's not going to be Haaland, it's going to be Lukaku or even possibly Harry Kane. The reason why I say that is because now teams know the money's there. Do you get what I mean? And there's no bluff. So now when teams see the money, that's when they start to open their eyes. When Jan Fiertoff released the news about Haaland, Chelsea negotiating with Haaland, suddenly you've seen Inter Milan. I don't know if it's their chairman or president. He's coming out to say they've got to sell and blah blah. And if you listen to what he said, he never said Lukaku's not for sale. Or he never said no player's not for sale. That tells you right there. Now they're starting to sniff the money. If Chelsea want to bring the money on the table to any club now, they'll possibly sell. Don't get it twisted. That's all. At the end of the day, all it is, it's the money.
And Monster, there was a report. There was a report today or yesterday that Levy will only set cash.
And Chelsea have that. And Chelsea have that. But at the same time as well, from Dortmund's point of view, if you ask me, I'm not sure if this Dortmund are thinking this way. To me, they have to sell him now because number one, if you don't sell him now, you're risking losing God knows what, 50 to 70 million pounds you're going to be losing out on. You risk and highly risk losing him to your direct rivals again. Like you lost Lewandowski for free, you lost Mario Götze, you lost Hummels, you've lost a number of your players to Borussia Dortmund. Now you're risking losing Haaland as well. You don't want that risk happening again. Ship him out of the country and get good money from it and start again. Simple as that. But if they're too stubborn to do that, then I don't know what to say in it. I don't know what to say.
Can I just say, if he drops a transfer request, he's got the best agent to do that.
Yeah.
I said that this morning that Inter Milan's tone changed real quick when they heard Chelsea were willing to spend money for Haaland. That went from Lukaku's not for sale, we're not selling him, to no one's not. Everyone's for sale.
I think in their eyes, they want to think like they don't want to sell Sancho and Haaland in the same window.
Or why can't?
Why not?
Why not?
They say
they get like 200 million for
they
both
might
of them.
not get
The
Champions
only
League.
thing is, like, what kind of season they're going to have next season without the pair of them?
Not,
bro, you listen. You've got a chance. Listen, they can regroup themselves and get something. No, like it's 150 M's plus Plus, with let's say Sancho goes for about 80 mil or whatever, that's about 240, 250 million. Yeah, you can start all over again, pay off your debts or whatever, start all over again. It's as simple as that. Money talks. All it is money talks. What Dortmund are saying now is what it seems like. It's a simple. Chelsea, you want to get him, then pay the money we want. If you pay it, you get him. Simple as that.
It's all posturing, isn't it? It's all posturing.
Yeah, it's exactly what they did with Sancho last year with United. They said you can buy him. The price is 120.
Yeah,
United
he's not for sale, but if he is, you just pay the money, and United didn't want to do that, so it's as simple as that.
Yep.
But it's the thing, throughout all of this, Dortmund aren't the ones keeping their foot on the ground and saying that they're not going to sell him. And I know that's just for now. I get that. But we said about how money talks, and when you have the money, people start to open their eyes up a bit more. Dortmund know we have the money, but they still don't want to sell Haaland just yet.
Yeah, but they say that, but no one's bid.
Exactly.
When someone bids, what are they going to be saying then?
Yeah.
For now, when no one's offered any money, they're all going to be saying this. Lukaku's going to say, I'm staying and blah, blah. Yeah, it's all well and true when no one has bid yet. But what happens when someone bids money? The money's being slapped right in front of your face.
And let's be honest, they bought Erling Haaland to sell Erling Haaland. They didn't buy him.
That's always going to happen.
They're a selling club.
Arm says dude's got either size of Ronaldo's speed.
Martin, you remember you thought he was going to get Lukaku?
Maybe not a Ronaldo speed, but close to it. Dinnerson saying if Roman wants Haaland, he gets him. Glazier's weight.
Yeah.
We said that's half the reason why we're now starting to believe the rumours a bit more. It's because it's clear that the board wants him and that Roman Abramovich wants him and that money isn't a factor in this situation anymore. No. That's the Glazers, they don't give a shit, but we already know that. That's a different discussion. Roman's
money ain't a thing.
And that's what the next 5 years.
Lewis, that's what I said, that we have to separate separate this transfer from the rest of our transfers this summer. Because I think this is like a Roman present to himself, and he's willing to spend 150 million pounds himself.
What do you mean by separate this from the rest of the other
transfers? What I'm saying is people are going like, I was hearing yesterday, well, if we sell this player, it will go towards the Haaland money and everything like that. Or, what if we buy him, we then can't buy Tchouaméni, or we can't buy Rice. I don't think buying Haaland affects who we go after in midfield or defence. I really don't. So I really don't. I think they'll still try for Rice, not at 90 million, but I think they'll still try for Rice. I think they'll try for Varane. They'll try for Tchouaméni. I don't think what we pay for Haaland will affect what we pay for the others that we're going for. That's why I say we separate it. That's why I say we separate it, because everything that matters.
It's been a minute. What are you saying?
Guys are back from holiday.
Yeah, I was the Bahamas.
Here we go.
It was rainy.
Raining. Oh my god. Fucking hell, man.
Only to you, Class. Only to you,
bro. What's your thoughts on the Haaland news, Magic?
Haaland, listen. Like Dortmund are willing to sell Sancho and Haaland. The issue with Sancho is like nobody's gonna pay more than 80 million, and problem with Haaland is everybody gonna pay 150 million. But the problem is the agent and the salaries. So what currently our owner is doing is he wants to give. He also doesn't want to upset the weekly wages system. Paying Haaland 1 million a week is an issue, right? So probably what he's gonna do is give him a golden handshake of 50 million, and then keep the wages around 350. So I would love Haaland, and we need Haaland. And Dortmund. Listen, people are saying Dortmund have issue if Dortmund would not sell Haaland and Sancho together. Listen, they have a lot of talent. They have Makuku, they have Bellingham, Reiner, Knauf, Unbehauen, Sancho. If Sancho leaves, right, they still have a lot of talent. Bauza, Rashel, Zagdu, they have players around 19 to 21 years of age coming, so they would sell both of them this summer. But the issue is the same. I mean, how's Haaland third party gonna deal with they need something, and then obviously we have also a problem with our wage system. So let's see if it can work out. Lukaku, I don't want Lukaku, to be honest.
Wait,
What about
you said you
Lukaku,
won Lukaku before?
Yeah, I said Lukaku, but I've seen him against Belgium. He doesn't entertain me. Like I like to watch football. Like I like to enjoy football, and he doesn't entertain me that much, does he?
To be fair, in that Belgian team, he can't do that much because Hazard hasn't been that fit, you know.
No, but the other day he played excellent.
He
played excellent the other day, man.
Who did they play yesterday?
Croatia. They played Croatia.
He was dirty that whole first half, man. We were watching it. I just kept shouting through it.
Yeah,
I didn't watch that game, but
it was on the stream.
No, we had it in the background. I was like, bro, this guy's fucking sick, man. We need to get him.
He bodied it, but I understand what Klazarov means.
Monster in the mud.
Yeah, he looked big.
I have like love and hate
Lukaku was brilliant, bro.
He looked uncomfortable.
Nah, he's not coming, bro. I told you he wasn't coming.
Sometimes I just want to turn it down my TV.
Yeah,
like when he was playing for Belgium, I was like, I was half asleep, you know. So he's a very. I would have Lukaku, but not like a first choice. I would prefer Haaland.
Same.
Kind of the opposite, but I'd take either. I'm fine with Haaland if the club wants. I can go with it because I know it's going to succeed. It will succeed and it'll be a long-term option for us. Same like Lukaku. Artem's saying Haaland's price is worth more than Champions League football, so why wouldn't they sell him for an extra 80 mil this year and try building a better overall team? As a project, like that would work for them as well if you sell the pair of them. We've been discussing that earlier on in the stream as well. And if they got rid of both of them, that would be what, 250 million in the bank. And they like projects and they like building players up regardless. So
they can do it again.
Yeah, because they had that period where they had Royce, Lewandowski, Götze. They got rid of them. They declined for a few years and then they came back up into the league again. So it could be a similar aspect to that. But I think that's the way Dortmund operate nowadays anyway.
Yeah,
they prefer to build up younger players and grow them up too. But that's why I'm also saying we should be pushing to put a Tammy Abraham in the deal as well. That takes 45 million off just like that. Yeah. Hudson-Odoi, I'd still rather keep, but Tammy wants to leave. Hudson-Odoi wants to stay.
Keeping Cho. I'm sorry, I'm not having option Traore.
Cho's not trying to push the move, so I don't want to go.
Keep Cho.
Borussia Dortmund can also literally look like Borussia Mönchengladbach. Like they have a really good rising young stars. Like we talked about earlier, they have Marcus Sturman. They also have Florian Wirtz. They also have Zakaria. They also have Zach. So they have a bunch of stars.
We're going to sign Florian. I think Chelsea would sign Florian, Hakimi, and Haaland.
Florian who?
We don't need Florian Wirtz. There's no need.
Wait, Florian who? Class F.
Florian Wirtz, however you say it. W-I-R.
Florian Newhouse.
He's like people say like he's better than Haaland.
Wait, which one? Which one are you talking about?
Florian Wirtz plays for
I'm talking about
Newhouse plays for
the guy who's Havertz. Like people are saying he's better than Havertz.
Is that Wirtz? That's Wirtz, I think.
No, you're dumb.
What was that?
What the hell?
Yeah, that's
why
he
just randomly said that.
Bless Josh. Save for jumping on.
Talk to you later, guys.
Josh.
I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. See if we can go for the next few minutes.
That's Florian Wirtz. That's Florian Wirtz. That's what you're talking about. But he's only like 18, so I don't think that would be a good pickup right now. He's gonna be dumb expensive.
He's really good. He's like Jude Bellingham. He's really good. And I think Hakimi, people were talking about Hakimi. Listen, he would be upgrade to Reece James. Reece James can go to right central back. And Hakimi, listen, we keep on talking about, we need one extra body in attack. Hakimi can do that. He is very, very fast.
Hakimi is a right wing back. He's a right wing back. He's not a right.
That's what I'm saying. He can defend and he can be an extra body. So he would really help that. Adama Traore is a fucking cunt. I would not even buy him.
What he's a what?
I would never get this guy. Adama. I would never get to.
He's a what? Sorry.
This is
no. You know what he said? He said it rhymes
I
with
said the
cunt.
C word.
Yeah, he said it rhymes with cunt.
Oh
Yeah, he
mate.
said that.
Listen, I would never get Adama. Why would we even have a conversation of Adama being signing Adama? Like, wow, why would you have that?
It's a sad day, bro. It's a sad day. It's a
Country
sad
fighting
day
for
when we're
power.
looking for 60 million replacements, bro. Jesus Christ, 60 million backups, bro. Oh,
Listen, Andrew says like it's not your money. Like Andrew says, it's not your money.
of course, but we're looking to build a dynasty here. If we buy these, never mind.
Do you know what? Big clubs spend big.
It's all good. Yeah. But then when we don't have the money for someone that we need down the line,
Yes, Tyrese, what you said?
for someone that we need down the line.
We're building a squad, not just in the first 11, a squad.
Okay.
Yeah? Rotation as well. Yeah. We need to rotate. We got games. I don't want us playing our strongest teams or supposed strongest players in the League Cup or FA Cup. I want to focus on the league and retaining the Champions League and winning the World Club. That's what I want to do. So if he comes in for 60 million, I don't care. I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me if he's 60 million, if he starts or if he.
Oh, we got United fan here.
It doesn't matter.
Wait, go on, Tyrese.
Yeah, as I was saying, I actually think we should get Erling Haaland. It's just unbelievable that we could actually get Haaland. Like if he's the final piece of the puzzle, and I seriously think that if we get Haaland, we could push for so many trophies next season. But the main one
I still think with DM
is the league. Yeah, we're still gonna do more business. But Erling Haaland, he's the guy, man.
Did I ask a question?
I wanted him so long. Go ahead, man.
150 million, right? If you had 150 million, then right, as an owner, who would you take? Harry Kane or Haaland?
Haaland.
Oh, Kane.
I love Harry Kane, but Haaland's younger.
Oh no, yeah. Kane is good.
More longevity.
It's a good question.
Haaland,
I would.
I don't know. You know,
it's a tough question.
It's not an easy answer.
I really.
It's fair to say that
only
Kane
one
is
thing that puts
experienced
me
in
on
the Prem,
Haaland
but...
is his
Wait, hold on, man.
Oh,
I'm taking Harry Kane. But the problem is Harry Kane isn't 150 million. That's the problem.
Most guys in the comment section.
I'm taking Haaland. I'm not worried about the agent. I just feel like the goals he's going to score for a long period of time, it's worth it.
No, he's definitely going. The way he's been greedy.
Gotta be Haaland, man. Haaland is like. That's the thing is, if we sign Haaland and then if a club
Kane will make us profit, that's for sure.
Imagine how much money we will make from that.
That's
because the only way that
puts me off.
This is what I said earlier about stepping stone. What you realize? What you got to realize?
The only way I can see Haaland leaving.
You take the agent to visit the gulag. That's what you do.
The only way I can see Haaland leaving is if Raiola negotiates and insert a clause in his contract that if Real Madrid comes around or something, he should be able to leave and go to a club like that. But other than that, if any other clubs come for him while he's at Chelsea, if he performs, he's going to be a lot of money.
That's exactly what I said about earlier about Erling Haaland. If he comes to Chelsea, he's at least going to stay like for about 2 to 3 years.
There's a mad echo. One second.
Hold on.
Okay.
Is it gone now?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, that's gone. Yeah, that's cool.
I was gonna say if he's gonna stay here like 2 or 3 years.
No, it's not gone. It's not gone.
It's probably me. Wait.
Right, try talk now.
Yeah. I was gonna say like if he's gonna stay here like for the next 2 to 3 years, after that it's gonna be pushing that to that Real Madrid move, like I said earlier. Then we're gonna make it like lots of profit from that kind of transfers. That's for sure.
I don't think he's going to push. I think it's really going to be Raiola who's going to try and cause problems for us.
Lewis, I'm going to head off. Thanks, having me on.
Bless, bro. No worries.
It's happening. Haaland's coming, baby.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anything else? Oh no, Chris is here. Yes, Chris, what are you saying, man?
I'm all good. About this Haaland deal still?
Yeah, we're about to wrap
Yeah.
up, but I want to hear your thoughts anyway.
My thoughts on Haaland, like I said, it'd be a brilliant player to come to us. It doesn't matter how much he costs end of the day. Like Andrew says, it's not our money. It'd be brilliant to see a Haaland player come to us. Imagine you can get, like I was talking to Alex, a Jordan deal to come to us as well because of a Haaland. Our kits would be better as well.
I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, because he's talking.
Nah, because that only really went round because Neymar was linking up with Jordan first, and then he went to PSG. Am I correct?
I think they have an exclusivity deal with PSG, so they can't be with any other club until that deal is over.
Really?
Yeah.
How long? What year is that going to?
I don't know, but I watched a YouTube video about it. It's like a very unique sponsorship deal.
Yeah, like I'm just
And they have,
hoping
like-
Viola doesn't screw us over as well.
And they also have like the those purple fours that they released, the PSG Jordan fours. They're actually quite fire.
I thought maybe Haaland we can get a Jordan steal as well.
Nah,
It'll look even better.
How do we feel about the supposed 40 million deal for Sal? I've heard a few rumors about this, but I haven't heard anything too concrete yet. But what are you man saying anyway?
I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's what we need. I think we need like a midfielder that could pass, that has like the passing range that Cesc Fabregas has. I don't think Saul has that. He's a good player though.
Where would he actually fit into the squad?
I don't think he's
Saul the midfielder, right?
Though. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is a good. I think he'd be good for depth wise. Like I like to see our squad depth improve as well. Like as well as starting wise, like a centre back like Varane and Haaland and stuff. But I would like to see another midfielder add to our depth. Then we have more rotation, saves Kante's legs because we know Kante's not any younger. He gets a few injuries. He's got injured for a few times. It'd just be nice to see Kante have rest like in FA Cup games and stuff. We don't need him in.
Yeah, I don't really think we play him in FA Cup games either.
Sorry?
I don't think we really play him in FA Cup games either. Kante.
We have done.
Yeah, like in the finals.
We've even played them in Carabao Cup as well.
Yeah.
That League Cup thing. It's just give Kante rest, even give Kovacic or Jorginho rest at certain times. We don't have to rely just on all the players because we've seen Kovacic getting injured near the end of the season and he didn't come back to fully sharpness in time for the Champions League final, but I guess that didn't matter anyway, so yeah, it'd be nice to have him, I think.
Do you guys think we're signing a centre back this summer or not?
I
think we're getting
priority, but potentially we will.
Yeah,
centre-back.
No, not really. I mean, Thiago Silva's getting old, but we don't need a centre back right now.
But we might go back to back four.
Man. Like, there's a guy called Maxim Lacroix from Wolfsburg, and he's like only 30 million. He's only like 30, 40 million, and he's French, and he can head the ball, and he's very, very good in defense. Very, very nice. He plays for Wolfsburg. They're going to be in Champions League this year.
Him. I know what you mean.
Varane cost 60 million though.
Varane is like, I don't like Varane. It's just
Why?
Most keep saying, "Oh, we need Varane." I'm like, okay, we need Varane, but when I see him, I'm like, nah, he's not that exciting. He's like 28 or something.
Would you have
merchant like Jem says then?
I would prefer Maxim Lacroix. Like he is better than Varane.
Carter, this is not FIFA. You know
it's not better than Varane.
That's what
he's like. He's only 21.
Even on FIFA, Varane
Yeah.
I
like Varane because he's 27 in his peak of his time, and he's had a lot of experience at Real Madrid. I would love him. I would love him at Chelsea.
World Cup winner.
Champions League winner. League winner.
League winner. He's won it all.
And he starts.
World Cup winner. He's won everything. He's won the World Cup, the Club World Cup, the Super Cup, every trophy there is possible. I think Varane won.
Him, Thiago Silva, Rudiger will be deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about Koundé? He's a small guy, but he's very
I
fast.
don't rate Koundé at all. I'm sorry.
I
But
rate him,
he's-
but I don't want him.
I
It's
don't
just
rate
Varane
him.
has the experience and his peak, and like he's just done everything, and he's 27. I would love that guy to come at our club, and it's
I
60
don't rate
million.
Koundé, man.
Very cheap for him, I think.
Could I ask a Chelsea fan's question, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
always
think
have
if
fun.
Thomas Tuchel was in at the start of the season, he would have won the league?
I
He
think
would have had a good shot at it.
A good now, not now. But we were probably.
I think
reckon
in
we
the
can
next 2 years he could win the league. He's a good manager. I like the way he is, his demeanour, the way he handles the players, the way
The
he
thing
handles
is, yeah.
the
The
press.
thing is that if he was here and Werner was firing underneath him, and Werner had some confidence, and he would have been scoring us the goals, and Havertz probably would have performed. Probably, yeah, I think we could have, but not certain.
Werner needs a one-to-one management. That's what he needs. He needs his confidence boosted.
Yeah,
He
correct.
scored for Germany, so I hope that may give him a boost, and he won't need talent.
Yeah.
I know you
He's a
can't really
good player,
base the season off half a season, but when Tuchel came in, like we got a lot of draws and like how many losses? Like 4 or 5. Like say if our form matched the first half of the season, like you can't win the league like drawing 1-1 at Southampton and 0-0 at Leeds, or
Yep.
do you know what I mean? Like it's about consistency more than anything.
Spot on.
That's true.
I think he would have got us maybe 10 more points than we have. He would have had us comfortably in the top 4 for sure. And I think with the right signings, he can really put in a good claim to win the league next season. But I don't think he would have done it with this team.
This is going to be a bit controversial, but I think he could be better than Pep.
True.
I mean, that's not controversial around Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans really
I just agree with that. If he gets players he needs, he'll be better than Pep.
Yeah, we need to see
He is actually better than Pep.
I'm a Man United.
You are absolutely spot on. You are telling the truth. Listen, if Tuchel started it, we would have won the league because Werner and Havertz and all our new players were really not very comfortable with Lampard.
True. People forget about how many games we
still-
won at the start of the season when we were top of the table with Lampard. Like, what were we? We were like 6 points clear at one point. Like,
we weren't 6 points. We were never 6 points clear of
Or
Lampard.
3 points clear. We were. At the top of the table.
we barely stayed at the top of the
we were
league for like
top
more than a week.
for a
We
weekend.
went top and then we lost to Everton and Wolves 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
And then that ended up any chance for a title race.
Like, I feel like we shouldn't like Tuchel's a great manager, but let's not understate the fact that this team isn't good enough to win a league as it is. Like, it's not. He needs to be backed in the summer. He needs that striker. He probably needs a DM. He probably needs a set or whatever pieces he feels he needs. He's a good enough manager to win us the league and win us trophies. He's proven that. But I don't think this current squad is good enough to go 38 games and win a league title.
Nah,
I think there's a lot of those players. I think there's a lot of players that are good enough to win the league, though.
This year's league was easier than Champions League.
Yo, Lewis.
Yo.
Lewis, remember not too long ago you just said that if anything, if we had to involve Tammy Abraham in the deal for Haaland. You remember I was saying that like 2 days ago, and we were saying like swap deals went right. I was saying like a player plus cash deal with Marina. I think Tammy Abraham actually would do pretty decent over there in the Bundesliga because with
the open spaces there.
Yeah.
But to be honest, most strikers would thrive in the Bundesliga. If you don't thrive in the Bundesliga, I've got questions about you.
Yeah, and
Now, the reason striker do thrive in Bundesliga is because Bundesliga midfield is superior, faster, effective than English Premier League. So
it makes you look like that because you're in a more open league.
Sorry?
It makes you look like that because you're in a more open league.
Yeah.
It's not
You have
like
more time on the ball.
It's like midfielder are more faster and effective.
I'd say more the systems do that because most teams play attacking systems in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, with
I'm
Tammy
trying to think
Abraham,
of the Premier League's fastest midfielder.
probably. I actually don't know. Probably can't.
They're-
I don't know.
Nah, I
Probably
can't. he's a bit quick, but he's not the fastest. He's got a lot of
Finishing,
stamina.
then we need a Mark
I don't
Josh
know,
who can
man.
play CDM and the centre back. We do, but it's like I'll beg for him, but he ain't coming because he's gonna stick at PSG.
Yeah.
That's his plan.
Now I actually think we could attract him here because I actually think Tuchel will go for him eventually because to me he's the direct Thiago Silva replacement because they played exactly the same. He's good at playing up from the back. He's quicker than Thiago Silva. He can read the game well. His defending is very good. He's good in the air. Perfect play. He's basically a perfect replacement for Thiago Silva. But back to the thing with the Haaland thing with Tammy Abraham. So I actually think he'll do well over there because not only because of the open space they have with the high line, like those defenders make a lot of mistakes. And if Tammy Abraham is a striker, that if a defender makes a mistake and the ball is right in front of him, he's gonna get that ball and do something with it and score with it. He usually score those sort of scrappy goals that when the defender makes mistakes. So I actually think he'll strive in the Bundesliga. Hopefully, I think a fair deal will be 100 mil plus Tammy Abraham. To be honest, I think Dortmund should take that. You're getting 100 mil and you're getting a decent player.
I hope so too, but we'll have to see how the things develop. But we're going to wrap up the stream for here because I do need to head off and get some food. Big up everyone who's locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button. As always, we'll leave you with a photo of our champions of Europe. Take care. Like and subscribe. And as always, up the Chelsea. And check everyone's their socials in the description below.